Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Hawakak Kadash. Double waters to the apostles of great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations into the elect of the nation of Israel. This is your brother Ayash Gabar from the GMS Virginia camp, coming at you with another lesson that I pray that you find edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 14 and verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. That's what the prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has been out there in the highways and byways doing as we were commanded to do. You know, telling you Jakes to repent, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand, you know. And unless you've been under a rock, you know, and not paying attention, the prophecies of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is happening, you know, at a very accelerated rate. Although it tarry, wait for it, for it shall surely come. It will not tarry. Well, it's not tarrying, and it's coming. It's here. We are at the beginnings of sorrows. As a matter of fact, we've been at the beginning of sorrows for a while. But now, you know, this devil is starting to make, you know, it known what his agendas are, you know. And if you've been watching and if you've been paying attention, then you can clearly see that what's on the cusp of what's about to happen to you Jakes, or the world, I should say, is an economical collapse, the famine of the word, the famine for food, energy shortages, race wars, civil wars, class wars, world wars, you know, pestilences, earthquakes, storms and tempests, fires, all of these things that were spoken of by Yahushai when he walked the earth. You know, everything that was prophesied about by the prophets through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And so now you Jakes are standing there or sitting there, not understanding that all of these things were told before you day and night. You know, the men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has made videos, go out there on the highways and byways, you know, and you know, we tell you these things. And what are y'all doing? Y'all ain't doing shit. Y'all sitting by, y'all scoffed, you know, you did evil before the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And so now, being that you didn't listen, you know, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai got something for your ass. You know, he's about to bring a famine here in Babylon the Great. He's about to remove his prophets off of the highways and byways over here in Babylon the Great, in the world for that matter. You know, because when that happens, you won't have any men to reprove you. When that happens, you won't have any men to warn you to get your house in order. You know, that's what time we're in. We're in a time where Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is about to work his work. You know? Because the MOTB is set up. And for those who don't know what the MOTB is, it is a abbreviation or an acronym for, well, an acronym for the mark of the beast, as described in the book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 16. Because very soon you won't be able to buy or sell save he have the mark. And that mark is going to be a thing where you're not going to be able to compromise your way out of it. You know? That mark is going to be a thing where it's going to be a requirement for you to be able to, you know, move in this world. You know, hey, this devil's about to come down having a great rap because he knows that he had but a short time. You know, this devil's being revealed for being the devil that he is. And so that now a lot of people are starting to realize that they've been hoodwinked. You know, a lot of people are starting to get mad. That's why you're also starting to see uproars of the people. As it says in the book of Ecclesiastes, you know, it's going to get so bad that a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. You know? You see, right now, you're able to go from point 1 to point 2. You know? Right now, you're able to go through a tunnel and cross over a bridge or even ride a ferry, you know, across a river. But very soon there's going to be checkpoints because the cities shall be destroyed because of their pride. It's about to get bad. You know? Heck, you even have prophets, you know, say, woe is me, woe is me. Who shall deliver me in those days? So Esdras is here. Who's going to deliver Esdras? You know, who's gonna deliver the prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in these evil days that are coming? I'll tell you, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know, that's why it's important for you to seek the Lord now before the evil days draw nigh. And I say it a lot. We say it a lot. The Lord brings it out a lot. You know? But the only ones that's going to seek Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is the elect. You know? You other Jakes are in for a very rude and painful destruction. A very rude and a very painful destruction is what a lot of you Jakes are in for. Because already they're talking about issues with the fuel, about how, you know, unless the Strait of Hormuz open, you know, they're looking at what, close to 4 weeks, 8 weeks tops. They're already damn near out of the reserves, and don't think that this devil's about to empty all his reserves. He ain't gonna do that. He's gonna reserve a lot of that reserve for his military, for the mobilization of his troops here in Babylon the Great. Meanwhile, the average citizen ain't gonna be able to maneuver like that. The average citizen is gonna be locked down to where he or she is. Trucks aren't gonna be able to come in and out. Why? Because the price of fuel is about to escalate. Truck drivers are already talking about how they refuse to pay a certain amount in gas. Because at that point, they're losing money. And what does that mean for you? That means that food won't make it to the stores. You know? Medications won't get to the pharmacy. Certain services won't be operable. And if you work in the industrial field, whatever it is that you're making won't be able to be transported out of the facility that you're in, or the parts that you're waiting for won't be able to make it to you. Hey, so much can shut down based on fuel alone. And we're not even referring to the electrical grid system. So what should you be doing right now? You should be preparing your house, getting your spirit in order. You should be getting your mind, your heart, your lob in order for what's coming. Because these days are going to be some very troubling times. some very scary times. If the elect shall scarcely be saved, what shall the end of them be that are not the elect? And you know, I'm just paraphrasing. I can't get the scripture right now, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm driving, and the phone that has my sword, the phone that has my sword on it is the one that I'm using. But we're definitely entering into them times, bro. Where it's about to get ugly out this piece. And so you shouldn't be concentrating on, you know, the things that you are able to acquire. You shouldn't be concentrating on the things that you could or that you do have. Let that shit go. You ain't gonna be able to take it with you. When these troops start roaming these streets, bro, the last fucking thing in the world you're gonna be worried about is that leather fucking couch that you just bought. The last thing you're gonna be worried about is that big fucking screen television that you got mounted on your wall. The last thing you're gonna be worried about are those fucking Jordans that you spent $800 on. That's why the scriptures say, the book of 2 Esdras, chapter 14 and verse 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of men and put off now that weak nature. And some of these mortal thoughts is based around the shit that you got. Some of these mortal thoughts is based upon, you know, the pain that you might have to endure. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua don't call it Jacob's trouble for nothing. You don't know these times as the time of tribulation for nothing. These are going to be some very tumultuous times. Difficult times. Hard times. Evil times. Wicked times. And if you don't prepare your house for what's coming, you're going to be caught up in this shit. And if you don't seek Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua before the evil days draw nigh, then you just out here without a hedge. In which case, you're just a filler. You're just fuel for the fire. You're going to be made an example. You're going to receive the judgments that Esau, Edom, and you know, these other nations are going to get. If I said it once, I'll say it again and again and again. I don't want that smoke. I don't want to be on the bad side of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. I don't want that. I fear him. I fear my power. I fear what he can do. And it is no joke when I say the fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is upon me. Because if you feared the Lord, you would do what he say. Which is a segue into a lot of you women. You don't fear your husbands. You haven't feared your husbands. And when you don't fear your husbands, you don't respect them. And when you don't respect them, you do shit that will humiliate him, tarnish his name, bring shame to your house. And that's what a lot of you women have done, because you have not feared your husband. You have lived under the security of Esau, Edom for so long that even your young ones have adopted this mindset that they don't need a man. They don't need a hedge. They don't need protection from shit other than themselves, their college degrees, and other women. But you will soon realize that you will be trodden down as the mire in the streets. Your attitude alone make you undesirable by all nations. Even your own fucking men don't want you. The men, these Edomites who have given you the protection that you've relished for decades, they're turning your back on you. What's the main thing now? You know, this devil is cutting SNAP benefits. Your protector is starting to turn his fucking back on you. And hey, you women have said so much shit against your men that even your men are men are like elephants. We have a memory that goes on for a very long fucking time. And we remember what you said. We remember what you've done. We remember the power that you had. We remember everything that you've done to humiliate us. And what's going to happen during the time of Jacob's trouble, a lot of you women will not have that hedge. And a lot of you women will be put to death. A lot of you women are about to lose the authority that you have. In fact, you're losing it. You're losing it. And there aren't enough of you women, to turn around and change the mindset of a lot of these men. Because the damage has already been done. The words that you women have spoken against your men has been etched in the minds of these men that they remember. So don't find it a strange thing when you're getting your ass whooped, when you're being ravaged, when you're being eaten, and no man comes to save you. You've done it to yourself. You've done it to your children. You women have destroyed houses, right along with your right along with your compadre Esau Edom. You have been complicit in the destruction of your nation. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has an issue with what you've done. He's got a very strong issue with what you've done. And you're gonna have to pay for that. And unto the elect, when you start seeing these judgments go forth, you gotta prepare for the gruesome shit that you're about to see. You have to prepare your heart for the gruesome judgments that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is about to put on these people. I got a precept when I get out of this tunnel because, hey man, the way we moving now is about to come to an end. A lot of these tunnels and bridges and boats, as I said earlier, are about to become locked the fuck down. You're gonna have to show papers. You're gonna have to show your chip. Get your chip scanned in order to get through checkpoints. Hell, this devil's making it such that you're not even gonna be able to drive. That's just how fucked up it's about to be. So I got another precept. The book of 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind. Prepare your mind for what's coming, bros. Because it's about to get ugly. If you could watch a horror flick with a lot of gruesome shit, watch it. If you could watch a lot of shit where there's a lot of gore, watch it. Get your mind ready for what's coming, because the gruesome shit that's in these movies, in these TV shows, has nothing. It's nothing compared to what's coming. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Be sober. Don't concentrate on the cares of this world. Let this shit go. Let it go. Do what you need to do in order to maintain your establishment. Do what you need to do to maintain, the food on your table. Don't go out there and quit your job tomorrow because you think that, everything's going to come to a fucking screeching halt tomorrow. No, do what you got to do, but just understand you might have to leave all that shit behind tomorrow or whenever. Learn how to detach from this system, from this wicked kingdom, if you have not done so already. Because this devil knows how to bring your ass back in if there's something about this kingdom that keeps you attached. It could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be your children, it could be your job, it could be the money, it could be what the fuck ever. Learn how to let this shit go. Learn how to drop shit. Learn how to leave shit at the drop of a dime. You know? That's what it's all about. Not caring for this wicked kingdom. You know? Yahweh Bashim Yahushua said, the love of this world is enmity with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You shouldn't be giving a fuck about what's going on in this world. Let it go. Your woman ain't in order? Let her ass go. You know? For those family members that you told, you know, about the times that they're in, and if they didn't listen, if they didn't take heed, let them go. Fuck it. 1 or 2 admonishes, or 2 or 3 admonishes, and if they don't get it, let them go. Don't beat yourself up over the fact that the ones that you care for the most don't get it. Because that could be your stumbling block. You know? That could be the thing that makes you fall out of, you know, this truth. You know? Because you have to constantly remind yourself that Satan is constantly desiring to sift you. You know? And with this devil bringing about the MOTB, you know, which is nothing but fucking witchcraft at the end of the day, you know, he's going to try to do all types of miracles towards you, Jake. You know, to have you thinking that you can see and do all types of things that you weren't able to do before. You know? So what are you going to do? You going to subdue to that? Nah, you know? You keep pushing. You know? You keep the faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Understand what the will of the Lord is. And what is the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua? To fulfill His word, the prophecies. The prophecies have got to go forth. You know? Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not a man that he shall lie. Men lie. The Lord ain't a man that he shall lie. Why should he? Why does he have to? He don't. You know? I got more precepts on deck, but, you know, I'm driving, of course. You know, I got to be careful. But nonetheless, man, you know, we're definitely in those times where this devil is about to make his move. You know, the Straits of Hormuz is closed again. You know, there will be no peace. Peace ain't coming to the wicked. You know, and things are just going to do nothing but get worse and worse. His kingdom is falling. You know, and this is what we pray for. So hey, you know, I pray that you found this little lesson edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because of yeah, man, you know, we're definitely in those times, bro. You know, we're definitely seeing what we've been praying for, you know, and that is to see the fall of our enemies. We've been praying to see the fall of our enemies. And we're watching it. The curses are definitely being translated unto these devils. The truth, which have been so long without fruit, is being declared on a day-to-day basis. This is what we pray for, brothers. So hey, gird up your loins as a man, because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has a requirement for you. You know? And so with that, I'm going to close out. I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honors to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Harakat Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.